Right, we continue our discussion on service delivery throughout the country and finding out who really is to blame for lack of services. For this, we are now joined via Zoom by political analyst. Thanks very much for joining us, Khanyi Magubane, here on SABC News.
A very good afternoon to you, Flo, and your viewers.
All right, let's talk about this issue of water provision, cuts and accessibility in many parts of the country, obviously being problematic, problems in many areas, including even, damaged roads. On the surface, one would say government is to blame. Is that the way to put it? Is it as simple as that?
It's not really as simple as that, because there is no denying that the responsibility of providing basic services to local residents does lie within local government's responsibilities. And the water shortages that we are currently seeing are part of a larger symptomatic problem of many municipalities across the country that have not only struggled to provide clean, drinkable, adequate water supplies, especially to peri-rural and rural areas. But many times you find that that water can't even be drunk. And we've seen residents complaining about brown water. We've seen them complaining about poor quality water, which in itself also doesn't help the residents, who many of them are relying on one tap in many instances to service a large community. And Flo, we're looking at a bigger picture of social degradation that's taking place not only just in our rural areas, but in our inner cities too. And this is giving rise to frustration and to the public protests that we are currently seeing today. So it's really got a knock-on effect from what's happening within municipalities to eventually what happens on the ground, and the ability to really give residents the basic services that they deserve.
And then there's load shedding and its impact on delivering services. Would it then be fair for municipalities to say, yeah, we want to deliver services, but unfortunately we're also dealing with the issue of load shedding? Would that be a justifiable excuse? It seems viable.
Not at all, Florence. You don't need electricity to cut grass with a petrol, lawn mower. You don't need electricity to get men coming to dig your pits so you can lie new fiber. There's a lot of human capital that can be used in this time to reverse the current trajectory that we're going on, where we're seeing a total collapse of our roads. The potholes are getting worse. You can talk about load shedding, but at the end of the day, there's many ways in which this can be countered. For instance, we'd love to hear what the energy plan is from local municipalities to deal with the issue of cables. I mean, the issue of cable theft, and the theft of infrastructure that government puts into place has been with us for at least 10 to 15 years. And so it starts to become a broken record if you're still complaining about the same issue without finding any tangible solutions to it, because then it means the problem will always be with us. And the picture then that you are painting is that this is the way it's going to be, and we just have to accept it.
Yeah, in your political analysis, Khanyi, let's get political then, in terms of the fact that political parties will be looking to rally people behind them in preparation for the elections next year. Let's look at the style and promises of these parties on the back of versus them actually delivering on their promises.
Right. Well, we know that election manifestos are going to be launched, and we know that within those manifestos, political parties are going to make a number of grand promises. And we can look at the ANC, for instance, in the run-up to the national conference that it just held. It meant to many outlying villages. We saw the President Cyril Ramaphosa, accompanied by his delegation, going to the Northwest province, knocking door to door. And we've seen this picture many times before, Flo. And I don't know if if there's anything new that's going to come out of those manifestos. If anything, politicians will have to work 2 to 3 times harder this time around to convince the proletariat, the people who must vote for them, that they have been good custodians of the national purse, that monies have been used for projects that they've been intended for, that they should be entrusted, with that national purse again. And we know that the national numbers of voters continues to decline in each voting year. And this voter apathy can be directly linked to the failure of political parties to live out those promises, because it becomes a forgotten dream once they have access to power and resources. And the ordinary citizen is becoming wiser to this. So it's really going to take a lot to convince South Africans that they should continue voting.
All right, Khanyi Magubane, thanks very much for giving us your analysis this afternoon. Much appreciated.